descendant, who's also played by Seth Rogen. It's a surprisingly touching movie. But
have you seen it? Like, did you watch it?
I watched it.
Okay. It sounds like Jack and Jill, so I don't know.
The title is actually called An American Pickle.
An American Pickle, that's what it is.
An American Pickle.
Yes. Sorry, American Pickle.
Yeah, fact checker over here.
It's like I wouldn't like pay money to see it, but if you have other means, I subscribe to Crave, which has all the HBO stuff. So I mean, I already paid for it, so it's on there. I
have a recommendation. I'm not sure if you guys watched this yet. The Queen's Gambit.
So good.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's so good.
Claire started watching it.
It's pretty amazing.
I used to play chess back in high school, and this kind of got me back into thinking about chess again. So I actually started going on chess is huge on Twitch right now.
Really?
Yeah.
It's big, huge. So like I started getting back into watching chess on Twitch and like doing chess problems in my spare time and like getting back into I'm starting to get back into it. I have no one to play with, obviously.
My girlfriend was trying to figure out a way we could play it. But I found an app that's like cross-platform independent, so you can play it on your computer or your phone or your iPhone. Doesn't matter.
There you go. Yeah, it's making a comeback after thousands of years.
Don't call it a comeback. Anyways, no, the kid is actually, he's ranked. I can't remember. He's a world ranking.
That's right. Yeah. So I'm surprised you haven't seen Queen's Gambit yet. Cause yeah, chess is in your family.
Yeah. Well. I
remember I played him once. He kicked my butt, but I played him once. He was like 13, jackass. But whatever.
We can't beat him anymore. I played him, I think, twice in total, and he wiped me both times. And,
I am not good at chess. Like I know how everything moves. I think like I learned how to play like when I was like 9 and like stopped playing at like 12 or 13 and just never really had much of an interest. I'm better at things like Monopoly and stuff where it's like, you know, anything where you actively screw the other person out of something, I'm better. But chess just feels like,
You're actually screwing people out of things in chess. Like they're trapping people and like, you know, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on.
I think
but
the goal in Monopoly, by the way, is trying to cheat.
Right.
Well, you don't have to cheat. There's just some good strategies. Like,
go ahead.
Like what I'll do is I'll buy up as much cheap property as humanly possible. I'll give away the expensive stuff if it means taking all the money so they can't develop it. Meanwhile, you keep landing on all my cheap properties. It's a slumlord strategy, but I like it. It's a bit like being Far High. If you're from London, you would know what that is.
I make alliances. I start forming alliances.
You're one of those people.
I'm like, hey, here's the thing. Here's what we can do. We can pull the resources together. I'll forgo the rent this time around if you that kind of stuff.
And then you slowly stab them in the back.
Obviously, you have to. Someone has to win eventually.
I like the fact that Monopoly being a game of strategy and taking things from people and stuff like that was a game that was stolen from somebody else. So originally when the game was developed, it was called, I can't remember what it was originally called. It was called something different. It was developed by a woman who brought it to Parker Brothers, and Parker Brothers went, "Oh, that's great," and then stole the game from her.
Even better, the game was there not to promote capitalism. It was there to teach about the evils of capitalism.
Hey, monopolies aren't good. I don't think...
Well, not good for you, but if you had a monopoly, you would love it.
Jeff Bezos is doing super well with his.
I hear.
Until the antitrust lawsuits go through in Europe, we'll see how those go.
That'll be interesting. Yeah, I'm hoping that they start like breaking away like Amazon Web Services and like, look, you can't own both the platform and sell things on the platform that you're selling based off of other people's data.
You can't compete against the people you're supporting.
Yeah, exactly.
The main issue is that's one of the issues, but they're fine with him doing that even if it wasn't for the fact that he promotes specifically the stuff he has, and the buy now button automatically is there for things that he has that they sell through the website as opposed to third parties.
Yeah. Or like you search for like, say, USB cable or something like that. And then the first thing that comes up is Amazon Basics USB cable, always like $2 cheaper than like whatever else is 5-star rated. And it's just like, yeah.
This is where the Dunning-Kruger effect comes into play, by the way. This is when,
I'm just mad I didn't think of it. This is just some nerdy guy in the 90s who made a website to sell books, and now he owns half the planet. It's just like, how the hell did that happen?
But it's funny that he almost lost it like a couple of times.
Mhm.
Like they ran out of money a bunch of times. Where it was like, okay, I'm going to sell my blood. Everybody working for me needs to sell their blood right now.
And now he's to the point, like, he made so much money during the pandemic, he could have paid all his workers $100,000 bonus and still have exactly as much money as he did back in March. That's how much money he made off of the pandemic. It's like, it's hard to even be mad. It's hard to be mad at that. It's just like, that's brilliant. I mean, what did he physically do wrong in the pandemic? It's just everything sort of led up to this, right?
But haven't we all? Okay, well, I'm not gonna say all. Haven't the four of us made more money? Like, not made more. Sorry, retained more money during the pandemic than we would have. There wasn't a pandemic?
Oh, for sure.
Well, I've actually technically made a bit more because my work is starting to pay a work from home stipend for connection. Not much money, but that's something I would have had to pay anyway. So I'm keeping money and getting a little bit more money to pay for things like internet and cell phone bill.
Yeah,
so,
they're giving you a stipend for it?
Yeah, a small one, like $100 a month. But
that would pay for my internet.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right?
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's we're getting like the T2200s. A lot of companies are going to be moving to that.
Yeah.
So Claire already gets a T2200 for her dedicated office, with 10%, because it's actually 10% of the house, off the internet, what is it? Internet, the electricity, hydro. There you go.
Yeah.
Water, sewage, so all of that for the year. Oh, and rent.
Nice.
So for this year, I will also get a 2200. So I'll be able to take off a percentage of stuff as well. I think a lot of companies are going to go that way.
Yeah.
Maybe not yours, Tim, just because of if they're giving you a stipend, then they're actually already paying for it.
So it's a connectivity stipend. So what it is they're paying the same as if they were supplementing my cell phone bill. So it's coming from the same pocket. So one could argue the other part would still apply because they still give the connectivity stipend to people who work remotely and still get the 2200. So that's why I'm just going to give my receipts to an accountant and say, here, you do it. I'm done. I don't want to figure this out anymore.
I'm done.
That's about what we did. We got here and there's a guy called the tax man.
Seems
that's
legit.
all he's known as is the tax man.
He's that's all I know him as
like
the
Prince
tax
and
man.
Cher. He's just
he's more like when they say tax man, I go to the gold buyers commercials.
Yes, I'm the tax man.
Yeah,
give money.
Me
oh
yeah. Isn't it
that's where I go to. No, yeah,
he does it too. No, Bad Boy is like nobody.
Oh, I confused with my obnoxious commercial characters. I apologize.
How dare you get a regional commercial celebrity wrong? I mean, that's.
I know.
But yeah,
blowing up. My phone's dinging a lot.
It's a tax man. He's here to give you money for your gold.
Yeah,
got a lot of gold in there.
See, Bitcoin's up to $16,000 a coin today.
More than that, it's up to 21,000.
Jeez, that spiked quickly.
Well,
should I get into Bitcoins? I didn't know what's happening anymore. No. Look, are you just saying that to drive down to make it easier for you?
There is a limited supply.
Well, the thing is that the things with Bitcoin, I don't invest in things I don't understand, right?
Right.
It's nothing. It's not a currency.
It's a bubble. It's just as far as I can tell, it's just a bubble waiting to happen. A bubble waiting to burst.
It's a commodity made of pixie dust. I mean,
there's no cattle back. You're not even doing future. You're not even doing like
I don't get it.
to me, it doesn't make any economic. It doesn't make any sense. I guess if it's a legitimate currency, that's one thing. But is it even a legitimate currency at this point?
No,
it is in the States.
It is. It's you can use it legally to buy things from convenience stores, etc.
You can do it in Canada as well, in China and Tokyo.
Okay, well then that's something. That's something.
Well, I guess there's a utility behind it, but still at the same time, anything that fluctuates this much to me is no longer a currency. That's like me going to a convenience store with like a sliver of gold and buying something,
right? So it's not like a fiat. In fiat currency, you have it's backed by government.
Yeah, it's backed by faith in something. This is like faith in 4chan. I don't know what the hell this is based on, but
it's based on math, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, we have faith in the banks, but I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we have look at crude oil. Crude oil has fluctuated so much.
This is the moment
we have
where I need
faith
someone
in. Go ahead.
That's true. But this is when I need someone to Dunning-Kruger this to me. I need someone to explain this to me like I'm an idiot, because I am about this. Like, so I have a buddy of mine who lives in Toronto who raves about this stuff all the time. I'm like, I have no idea. You're just speaking, I don't know, chain blocks, blockchains, and all this other kind of stuff. And
yeah. Blockchain is different from Bitcoin.
Yeah, blockchain's a technology that Bitcoin's built on. So the idea is that you have to do it's almost like a reducing like formula, right? So the more you created the stuff, which is just basically created through a mathematical formula, the harder it is to make it or mine it. So what you're doing basically is you're converting electricity, because that's electricity resources like CPU hours, GPU hours, things like that, using that energy to calculate off of using this blockchain technology into some sort of unit, which is a Bitcoin. But there's other coins out there too. At least that's my understanding of it. I could be on the wrong side of the Dunning-Kruger curve on this one, but
so there's the Dunning-Kruger effect right there.
yeah. But that's the basic idea.
At a certain point, I couldn't hear you anymore, and your mouth just moving, and I was like, "This is
in essence, it takes it takes an upfront investment and electricity to make a Bitcoin. That's really what it is. And the more Bitcoins exist, it's sort of like a gold vein, right? Yeah. The longer you mine it, the less gold there's going to be. So the harder it is to get at it. It's deeper underground, or it's like, less
but there's
pure,
so many varieties of Bitcoin too. It's not just one flavor, right? There's a whole bunch of
they all use different algorithms to
So there's one
Bitcoin.
So there's one Bitcoin, but there's cryptocurrencies. There's multiple cryptocurrencies.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That's what
and then even for Bitcoin itself, like for Bitcoin and Elysium, which are the two big ones, they have a limited amount. So they have a certain amount, and then that's it. It's just how much you're willing to pay for that.
Well, they would have to. I mean, they would have to, otherse it would lose value, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's artificial scarcity,
right?
Yeah. It's unlike let's say the Great
US
Depression
dollar.
as an example.
Just print them off.
That's the thing. And in the Great Depression, it was the point where the dollar meant absolutely nothing for the longest time. So it's the same type of thing where you have too much of it and it just floods the market. So you create the scarcity for it, and then that drives people to try to hoard it.
Literally, though, it's a bubble waiting to burst, though, isn't it? Like, is that not...
It's already burst once. I mean, it went up to like 16,000 a few years ago, and then just crashed down to like 2,000, and then now it's back up.
But is it to burst more often than a normal? Because normal currencies, that's the flow of a normal economics as well. Like, so is it the same rate, or is it more accelerated? Or
it's very volatile in the fact that most of it's based on the fact that it's a trend, right? Like, people are putting money into this. And if they decide that someday, hey, I just want to pull my money out, and everyone trends with them, then that idea of this artificial currency is not gone. So it doesn't have the backing that we have, like with our minted money from the government, because it doesn't have any backing behind it. It's based on a conglomeration of everyone's money.
Gotcha.
Think Beanie Babies.
I was going to make the equivalent kind of thing, Keith. Exactly. It's like, this is like saying Beanie Babies or fidget spinners are your currency now.
Yeah, which they're not currencies; they're commodities. That's what irritates. Yeah. Well, not irritates. I guess that's kind of a strong term for it. But yeah, it's like
we've lost a young one.
I can't find it.
He's looking around somewhere else.
For a fidget spinner, looking for a fidget spinner.
I was gonna look for it.
Man, you can still go to stores like Canadian Tire and stuff, and there are like just plastic bins full of fidget spinners. So they thought it was gonna be huge, man.
At the Scary Variety store I was at yesterday, they had some on display. I'm like, you're still selling this? Like,
well, you gotta get rid of them. They ordered okay, everyone gets fidget spinners, and then
But I told the kid that this is gonna last like a year at most, and 6 months. I get the appeal of them though. They're very it's very I'm a fidgeter, so I'm I get the appeal of it.
But it's like any fad, like Pogs. Remember Pogs? Pogs were a thing from like the very early 90s.
I only remember Pogs because whenever someone talks about a fad nowadays,